April the 25th, 1999, in Dayton, Ohio, a shocking discovery was made in an alley behind a recording studio. Legendary funk artist Roger Troutman lay dead with apparent gunshot wounds. Less than a mile away, his brother Larry was also found dead. Two more tragic deaths in the world of R&B. Zapp is a group known for their contribution to the funk era. All in all, there were 10 Troutman siblings, 5 girls and 5 boys. Roger Troutman was the fourth of 10 siblings, and his talent was the first to be discovered. He learned various instruments as a kid, learning one after another. When he mastered one instrument, his father would give him another to learn, not wanting him to be limited. Roger's father once told him, "Instruments are merely a vehicle to express what's inside of you." Roger became a multi-instrumentalist and could play by ear. He usually learned his dad's favourite songs when practicing. Roger formed different bands in the early years in the pursuit of a music career, but he would become frustrated with those he worked with. Band members would not show up on time, miss shows, and quit on a regular basis. He decided to teach his younger brothers to play and nurtured their talents in the hopes of them eventually joining his band. As soon as his younger brothers were old enough to play in the clubs, they officially became a group. They were soon discovered by George Clinton, and he signed them. They were originally called Roger and the Human Body. George said they had to come up with a better name. That name wasn't going to compete with names such as Parliament Funkadelic and Sly and the Family Stone. They struggled to come up with a name until someone called out to the youngest brother, whose nickname was Zapp. As soon as George heard this, he said, "That's the name." 2 years later, Roger signed a solo deal with Bootsy Collins under his rubber band music label. His legendary catalogue soon followed, which included top 10 hits such as More Bounce to the Ounce and Computer Love. Roger Troutman is known for his use of the talk box, which creates an electro-harmonic effect when singing. Stevie Wonder is believed to be the first performer to use it on national TV, on an episode of Sesame Street.
1, 2, 3. Sesame Street.
Roger and his brothers saw this while watching TV one day. He was immediately intrigued by the device. In those days, you couldn't rewind the TV. The internet didn't exist, so they couldn't just Google it. He vowed to find out more about the device, asking around when working at different recording studios and speaking with other artists about it. It was actually their father who found out about the talkbox. While asking around about it, Zapp and Roger's music was well ahead of its time, with songs such as Computer Love, where he sings about a love interest on his computer screen, hinting to what was to come in the future with online communication. Roger was a composer, songwriter and producer. He was the core of the group. Larry successfully dealt with the group's business affairs, and his name is on some of the songwriting credits. Music was a family business that brought the brothers closer together. It was all they knew from as long as they could remember. Roger released 3 albums as a solo artist, and he had 2 number 1 hits on the Billboard R&B charts. His number 1s were a cover of Marvin Gaye's Heard It Through the Grapevine from his debut album, and I Wanna Be Your Man, which was released in 1987 from his third album, Unlimited. The latter also reached 3 on the Billboard Hot 100. Then in 1996, Roger collaborated with Dr. Dre on Tupac Shakur's Grammy-nominated number 1 hit single, California Love. He also made an appearance in the Mad Max-themed video. His signature, talkbox vocals, can be heard throughout the song. Zapp and Roger have influenced many other artists in hip-hop and R&B, old and new, as well as funk and popular music in general. That's why his untimely death, at the hands of his own brother, shocked the industry. Both fans and colleagues couldn't accept the loss of such a music pioneer and the violence that preceded the tragedy. In one interview, Lester Troutman describes knowing something was wrong on that fateful day. It was Sunday morning, and he saw 25 voicemail messages on his phone. As he went to check them, the phone rang. His friend and fellow singer, Shirley Murdoch, was on the line. "Have you heard?" she asked. "Heard what?" "It's Larry," she sobbed. "He's dead." Lester's thoughts turned to his other brother. He simply asked, "Where's Roger?" She replied, "Shot as well, by Larry." Lester doesn't remember much more after that. It was as if time had stopped and his whole world fell apart. Larry was found not far from his younger brother Roger with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. It is believed he shot his brother and then he took his own life. So what happened? How did it come to that? Apparently, tensions had been building between the two brothers for some time, mainly over money and family business. Roger's solo career had taken off and Larry was his manager. But no one, not even their own family, could have imagined such a tragedy occurring. Not only did the shooting rob a family of 2 sons and brothers, it took away a musical revolutionary and one of the most frequently sampled artists in the history of hip-hop and R&B, particularly in West Coast funk. It was an inexplicable ending for such a legendary icon, as well as the senseless death of his brother. Lester Troutman ran into the street, dropped his phone, and cried upon hearing the news. Roger was found in an alley by police at 7:20 in the morning behind Roger T Enterprises, the family's recording studio and business headquarters on Salem Avenue. Larry shot his brother 4 times in the chest. The murder weapon was a .357 Smith & Wesson revolver. Witnesses said he was shot after he tried to get out of the passenger seat of a black sedan. Minutes later, reports came in that a black Lincoln had slammed into a tree less than a mile away on Harvard Boulevard. Larry Troutman was found in the driver's seat, deceased from a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. The coroner confirmed that the bullet was from the same handgun. Lester spoke about what the family did in the days following the murder. "My brothers and I rode around and tried to collect our thoughts. We went to my sister's house and we wouldn't let nobody come in for a week. We got through it with love and bonding." The murder-suicide occurred a week after the Columbine school shootings. Their mother was watching the news coverage and turned to Lester and said, "I can understand how all those boys' mothers feel." It broke his heart. News of Roger's and Larry's death caused shockwaves within the Dayton community. Friend Del DeGroat said, "It was just so unthinkable. Larry was the guy in the beginning who told me, a lot of money is going to cross your hands, but never let the money be more important than the people." Till this day, no one knows for sure why Larry did what he did. Family members said Roger was considering cutting ties with Larry professionally. Roger had a thriving solo career, but the Troutman Enterprises were struggling. Roger no longer wanted Larry as his manager. This obviously would have affected Larry financially and taken away a huge source of income for him. So on the surface, it all did seem to be about money. Roger was 47 years old and Larry was 54. Asked if he resents Larry for killing Roger, Lester said, "Of course I resent it. I resent that my brother Roger is gone more than anything else in the world. I resent whatever sickness came over Larry that caused him to do something like that." Roger and Larry Troutman had a joint funeral service 6 days later. Up to 3,000 people attended. Fans packed the Solid Rock Church in Monroe, Ohio. Bootsy Collins attended, as well as local bands and other members of funk royalty. Their nephew Rufus sang Amazing Grace. Of course, he sang it through a talk box. The brothers were buried together at Greenwood Cemetery. That's right. Don't know how I feel about that. A sculpture now resides outside the former Troutman Studios at the northwest corner of Catalpa Drive and Salem Avenue, designed by Ohio artist Michael Bashaw. It is a 26-foot sound sculpture that can produce a few bars of Roger Troutman's I Can Make You Dance when moved by the wind. Zapp began touring again after the ordeal. In the What Had Happened podcast, a podcast for Dayton, Lester said, "On April the 25th, 1999, at 5:30 a.m. I thought we would never play again. But after the tragedy, the surviving members received letters, faxes and phone calls from fans all over the country and from different parts of the world, asking when they were coming back. Fans from all over wanted to know when they were coming to their towns and their countries. That's when they decided to keep going. He said, "The love and bond is still there, and that he'll be lying if he said they never had any problems or members wanting to do other things, but their bond never left." They even released new music a couple of years ago. Their recent album features artists such as Snoop and Corrupt, and the vocals of their brother Roger are also included. Sadly, the family experienced more tragedy in 2020 when the granddaughter of Roger Troutman passed away unexpectedly. Rapper Lakey Inspired died from an accidental drug overdose of fentanyl and ethanol just 6 weeks before her 22nd birthday. She was a promising new talent in hip-hop, appearing on Kehlani's Grammy-nominated album and performing at Soundset and First Avenue. Her father is Roger Troutman Jr., who recorded for Capitol Records throughout the 80s. Did you grow up listening to Zapp and Roger? No doubt you certainly would have heard Roger Troutman's influence on artists who were inspired by him or sampled his music. Were you aware of the tragic way in which he died? Thanks for watching. Share your thoughts below, like and subscribe for weekly videos, and don't forget to click the bell for more.